Hi, everybody. So I'm going to talk about an advertising phantasm, the most efficient marketing tool of all times, which is word of mouth. I'm talking about real word of mouth, recommendations from people you trust, the personal stuff, the one thing we share in our everyday life all the time, which is directly word of mouth from friends to friends. Only now 5 to 10% of the people trust advertising, and it's going down. Only 25% really trust Google types of links now. It's going down as well. How many people trust their friends about purchasing any products? That's 70%. How many people are influenced with online reviews? That's 90%. And basically, more than 95% of recommendations have remained offline. So that's a basic problem which has never been properly addressed. There is no global platform for recommendations. Secondly, there is a very important shift. Some of you might be familiar with this chart in the opportunity of the mobile shift. Like only 8% of ads are spent on mobile, while 24% of the traffic is on mobile. Those things two combined is the opportunity for recommend. We are building a global app which brings you all recommendations from people you trust for anything you're actually looking for. Our vision is basically to propose a challenger point of entry to Google or any type of search, leveraging both mobile shift and the holy grail of marketing, which is #1 driver for anything you're looking for. The online advertising market is a 140 billion business, but it could go way beyond, like disrupting the whole advertising. Think of something where all the recommendations of your friend would be, if that's not the first tool you would use for looking for anything ranging from hotels, restaurant apps, games, or wine bottles. I don't have time to show you our app. It's a full social network with a lot of sharing features, geolocalized search, a very easy way to recommend a lot of stuff. So I invite you to use it, of course. The thing we're doing, and the reason why it hasn't been cracked, is it's because it's in the middle of Google and Facebook. Everything what is linked to social media right now, the problem is it's ephemeral content, and recommendations needs exactly the opposite. I like to take the example of pictures, which used to be souvenirs as a social content. Then it became massive, and now they're even disappearing with Snapchat. Recommendations need to be retrieved, and they're only useful in time. This is why it hasn't been cracked yet in everything what is social media. On the other side, on Google and merchants and search, every review system has remained crowdsourced and non-social because they're not social networks. Recommend is doing the bridge between the two, and globally in all our features and everything we're doing. We are a social network inside a global platform. So we connect existing data of social networks. So we use, of course, a lot of data to be able to calculate in an algorithm the level of trust between people. We use metadata of different ways to qualify which kind of objects are recommended and to find a very easy way to search for them. We use data extractors to get all the best reviews from experts out of medias and major brands. So you can follow whatever top bloggers on Recommend or whatever brands you like. And we help merchants digging into their review system to collect recommendations directly from them. Basically, we help merchants with their brand advocacy, with acquiring new users, and to help in the conversion rate. In this example here, we made for Voyage Privé. It's a $500 million sales company on travel. Basically, you will find the recommendations from your friends directly inside Recommend, going back to the website of Voyage Privé. And if you're looking for a hotel on their website, you will soon find recommendations from your friend instead of people you don't know. If you think of all the review system of merchants, it's always people you don't know. With Recommend, it's soon going to be people you know or linked to you through friends of friends and things like that. So where we are right now, we have a merchant rollout, more than 22 merchants in the pipeline. We're going to connect in the next weeks, which will drive a lot of traffic to recommend and a lot of new recommendations, which is key for solving the chicken and egg problem. We already have 70,000 recommendations, by the way. We were featured best new app in the US store and French store, so we're a little bit between both. That was on our release last April, and of course we had a search through the featuring. So this is a little bit of our numbers. We basically doubled our user engagement figures in just the past 2 months. Myself, this is my fourth company. I did 15 years of e-commerce. I built the largest online ski vacation website in Europe, which was close to $100 million sales. We sold it in 2012. My CTO is specialized in data analytics and everything, algorithms, and our product designer has now 7 years of experience of mobile design. You probably don't know many of these guys, but they are like basically a lot of famous French successful entrepreneurs, which invested a lot of people which have built listed companies, and they invested all in Recommend. We have now like 30 top-level business angels on board. And we're looking now raising our Series A at a minimum of 3 million to roll out in the US and expanding globally and start monetization. Thank you.
Can you go back to your engagement metrics? You just went by them really fast.
Of course.
So, I guess could you explain what's going on April to May?
So April, I just explained we were featured in the both US and French app stores. So it was a boost. And now actually our figures in June go up very much. So we're on track to beat this number just regularly with natural growth by August, because we're connecting the merchants. So basically, if the pipeline is filling in the same way as now, in December, this will look like a very small figure, actually. So basically, we're plugging in the review systems of major merchants so that users are using the reviews, doing a review, are then collected in Recommend, become Recommend users, and basically we get reviews from them. This is the basic measure approach to grow the user. And user engagement is a lot about features, of course. It's getting better and better.
What percentage of your users are US versus France?
35% now, and 50% is still French, because we started in France. It's very good for a benchmark, because France is difficult. You know, US are more like, you know, willing to test new things, and French people like, of course, but they're more followers. So it's a little bit a tougher nut to crack. But yeah, our strategy is basically to continue to test new things in France and to roll out in the US after September. So, of course, we have headquarters in New York.
Certainly, the space, there was a recent report from Search Engine Land that 88% of consumers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendation. So I guess the question is, what is the utility here?
Online reviews, I didn't show the chart here. Basically, it's 45% of people trust online consumer reviews as a tool to buy stuff. But 92% are influenced by online reviews. So it depends how you ask the question. If you come back to the first question, basically the friends trust in all surveys we have, and I mean serious stuff, is about double. And if you ask the personal recommendation, the role it plays towards the purchase act, if it's close to the purchase, the personal recommendations even beats past experience of basically it's 40% of everything what is purchased in all those days shows that is done by a recommendation. 63% of apps are downloaded through direct word of mouth. More than 70% of restaurants, hotels is growing as well. But to answer a little bit more precisely that question, if you take the example of hotels and guys like TripAdvisor or Yelp, The last 10 years was very efficient to make that grow up because nobody has never done anything about personal recommendations. So it's there, by default, people will use it, but the reality is that people are using those sites. They know that everything is a little bit biased and that all hotels are between 8.2 to 9.1 out of 10. And at the end of the game, you might only think it's 5, or you don't agree exactly. So the truth is not there compared to personal recommendations. So another way to put it, it was very much linked to SEO and everything and brand advocacy more than product recommendations itself. So everything that is down there is still the older model. You go through a search, through Google, and through global data and global views of people you don't necessarily know. The social part has gone a different way. Facebook is basically a more competitor of TV, while nobody uses really Facebook for search. And on the other side, where you have TripAdvisor and the search, you don't have the social part. So this is where there is a huge opportunity which is left in between. Once you have something which is growing up, like recommend, whether it's us or somebody else or 2 or 3, it's going to be, we consider it's going to be a magnet where everybody wants to be, and that's going to beat any type of advertising, any type of first point of entry. Everybody actually wants to have it. When we're talking to merchants, all big merchants, they have a double problem. They have a problem with reviews. They have old systems of reviews. Generally, they don't know too much how to do it. They mix brand advocacy and product recommendations, which is 2 different things. And they have a problem with social because, let's say it, they didn't get from Facebook what they paid. So Facebook basically said, yeah, just pay us for having fans. Now they have fans, they say pay again, so you just reach your fans. But this is nothing about product recommendations. And basically the problem is already at the start with Facebook is that a like is not a recommendation. We consider a recommendation is a qualification with a minimum of 5-level ratings. So we kind of redid that, reinvented that as a standard, as a technical standard as well. So.
Do you look for partners to, integrate with, or like, yeah, should I come to you to integrate, or do you go out with?
Absolutely. I mean, our strategy is a platform strategy. So basically, anybody we're talking now to, medias, merchant or stuff, we're building open APIs so they can grab our widgets. So whether it's automatically or whether we do it specifically for the larger ones, we're building SDKs and APIs so that everybody can plug in, recommend very easily. Even in social apps, like whatever messaging apps, we want to become the little part where it's going to be the keeper part, the memory, again, because this is the part you want to retrieve and keep in time, while all the rest is basically for just, the usage of the day. So, of course, I mean, we have way too much on the line right now with many people want to connect recommend to their system. So we're still imagining different ways to connect, actually.
Thank you.